Smarties. Today we are pulling back the curtain and sharing some behind-the-scene news about how we produce the podcast and some personal news. We are also really excited to talk in this episode about some updates and some new ways that you can connect with us, and the super exciting news that Learn Smarter Pro is back. We are also excited to share that we are now on YouTube. That is something that we are going to be building up. So please go ahead and find us on YouTube at Learn Smarter Podcast. Additionally, we are so excited that Learn Smarter Pro is back. Learn Smarter Pro is our group coaching program for educational therapists, learning specialists, or really any service providers looking to begin their businesses. We were not able to run Learn Smarter Pro more than once in 2023. So we are super excited that it'll be back in January 2024. For more information about that, go to www.learnsmarterpodcast.com or email us at rachelandsteph@learnsmarterpodcast.com, and we will get you all the information you need. Let's dig in.
You want to learn faster, but sometimes working harder is just not the answer. You have to learn smarter. The Educational Therapy Podcast.
Hi, Smarties. Welcome to episode 280 of Learn Smarter, the Educational Therapy Podcast. I'm Stephanie Pitts.
And I'm Rachel Kapp.
And today we are talking about the executive functioning of the Learn Smarter podcast. How did we get here?
Before we dig into that, let's pull back the curtain and let's talk about what just happened.
All the things.
Steph just informed me before we hit record that she was going to a concert on Saturday that I happen to be going to as well. I told her I made a dry bar appointment because over May and June, I was going to dry bar quite frequently. So I got a Barfly membership. We'll talk about why I was going so frequently in a minute. But Steph informs me that she has a gift card that I gave her for a dry bar, which I don't even remember giving her, but it sounds like something I would do.
It was when I had surgery, February of 2020.
I was like, she doesn't need to do her own hair. She can go and get it done. And you informed me that it is now 3.5 years later and you still have not done it.
Well, COVID hit.
Don't tell me about COVID.
But I forgot about it because COVID hit and then I forgot about it. And then I saw it in my email.
You saw it in your email?
Yes, because I was
When did you see it in your email?
A couple weeks ago.
Okay. And so I said, stop everything and go make that appointment right now for Saturday. She's like, she was hemming and hawing about it. I'm like, no, go get your hair done before the concert. Oh my gosh.
And then she made me share the screen.
Yeah, because I wanted to follow along while she made the appointment. I was having FOMO about not looking at it.
Oh my gosh.
Because I also have a dry bar appointment on Saturday for the concert because I have all these blow dries stored up. So should we talk about why I was going to dry bar?
Well, okay, so let's start with this. It's September.
Yeah.
You are listening to this in early October. Okay, so we just recorded this a couple weeks ago. So the episode that you listened to last week, we recorded in April of 2023. So here we are today in September. It has been 5 months since we actually recorded anything. So we had to dust off the microphones and replug them in and recalibrate everything.
Yeah.
And we had to take 5 months off. Why, Rach? Why did we take 5 months off?
So if you're a longtime listener of the Learn Smarter podcast, you know that we did the same thing in 2021 when I had my son, Elliot, who is now a little over 2. And the reason that we had to take another 5 months off is because I had another baby.
Surprise!
Surprise! So we welcomed Owen June 5th. Mm-hmm. And so we've been kind of just spending the summer. I had 2 under 2 for a month, 6 weeks, and trying to figure out just how to be a family of 5, obviously with Fritzy. Mm-hmm. Fritzy is in love with Owen. He likes Elliot, but he was not like this with Elliot. He will push his way into Owen's bedroom, and he likes to nap in there when Owen is napping in there. Adam and I don't know why they have this bond. It's very sweet to watch between the two of them. And Elliot is in love with Owen as well. And everything is about mommy, baby Owen, mommy, baby Owen. Mm-hmm. So that is the exciting update. I have been back at work for a couple months now. already. Owen's 3.5 months. He started rolling last weekend. And so still not sleeping through the night, but it's totally manageable. And he's so cute. In this week's email, we'll put a family photo so the Smarties can see.
Yeah, they can see. And then maybe we can put in the picture of the three of us, you, me, and Owen.
We'll make sure that that goes out. And so the first 4 months of the year were very intense with recording. We were probably recording 3 times a week, Steph?
3 to 4 sometimes.
Yeah, it was a lot of podcasting. And thank you to all our guests who came on months in advance knowing that their episode wouldn't air for weeks and weeks and weeks. And to Steph for helping to make sure the EF of this podcast, everything that needed to happen, happened. And we're going to talk about how we did it today, how we batch recorded probably 35 episodes, I would imagine. Something like that.
A lot.
And thank you to Pierce, as always, for all the editing, and to Katrina for keeping the business going. But we're back in action now. Do you feel rejuvenated? Do you feel excited to be back, Steph? Did you miss me? Why was there such a long pause of you answering whether or not you missed me?
Here's the thing, you guys.
You can miss me without missing recording.
Yeah. Do you notice how she hasn't even taken a breath? Like, between all of those things, she was just firing at me. Like, she's coming hot this week, you guys. Yes, I missed you, but it wasn't like I didn't see you or talk to you. So I don't understand the question, really.
Right. How do you feel about being back to recording, I guess?
I think it's an adjustment.
Yeah.
You know, I do think it was very fun to have all summer off.
Yeah.
And have mornings back, which was just lovely.
Yeah.
But, you know, school started up again for the podcast. So here we go. Homework is back.
Yeah.
It's good to be back. It's just getting back in the swing of things, just like everybody else for fall.
And we waited until Elliot transitioned into school, because he started school as well, and he finally did it. And so
you get to just drop off and walk out.
I get to drop off and just leave now and come home and record. And I'm excited. It's nice to step away from like a big project like this, because it is. It's a big part of our week. It's a big project. It's a big mission that we have. But it's nice to come back and like have new ideas and have had a little bit of a break and a little bit of space to clear out the cobwebs a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
I think Steph has a difference of opinion. This is exactly what happened when I came back from maternity leave with Elliot, by the way.
I remember.
I came in hot. I had a lot of ideas. I was like, let's do this.
She comes in hot, you guys.
And you're like, Rachel, just
simmer down. There's a lot of ideas that start coming at me, even at like 11 p.m., you guys. I'm like, okay, this is not a right now discussion. So anyway, it's good to have a break and step away and then come back. You know, we were definitely burnt out.
From all the recording?
From recording 3 to 4 times a week.
I was done.
It was exhausting, you know, and you were pregnant on top of it.
Yeah.
So here we are. We decided to just sort of talk about the executive functioning of the podcast because it's a big project. And most of you who are listening don't have a podcast per se. This isn't podcast specific as much as big life project specific.
Yeah. Oh, and then we have a special announcement at the end of this episode. So we're going to dig into how we did it. And then we will announce a couple of things that we want to share with you guys. So how did we do it? We kind of had a little bit of a framework for doing batch recording from the last time we did it. So the first thing that we did is we got a month at a glance calendar for basically all of 2023, right, Steph?
Mm-hmm.
And you and I sat down and we said, okay, we're each going to be responsible for at least one episode idea a month. Mm-hmm. And we color coded it, so we knew which one was supposed to be ours. Mm-hmm. And we wanted at least one guest a month. Mm-hmm. And we knew we were going to do one re-air a month as well.
Yeah, that was to buy us some.
To give us a little bit of buffer. And also, we've been podcasting for 5 years. We don't assume... There are some of you that we know have listened to every single episode and like go back to episode 1, which is... unbelievable. We always say that's a lot of Rachel and Steph time.
Yeah, for sure.
But we know that there are some real gems, and even in the real early 20s and teens of this podcast, that we wanted to make sure that people who had joined us later had the opportunity to hear those episodes.
And I want to say that we got the calendars at a glance. It was a separate document that needed to happen. And I want to say that we worked backwards. Just like if you're doing a big project or studying for a test or whatever, we knew approximately when we would come back. And so what episode we needed to get through.
Yep.
So then we back planned.
Yep.
So we each had our responsibilities, and then it had to go in all the places that we keep things and on the calendar. Planning when we were going to record what made sense was a lot of Google calendaring. Mm-hmm. I spent a good chunk of time in there.
I think what really helped us do it faster this time, Steph, was like, you take responsibility for one a month, I'll take responsibility for one a month, and giving structure. So we knew exactly who was doing what. And there were episodes that we literally were saying, I'm taking lead on this one, you're taking lead on this one. And then we also worked in conjunction with Katrina. We made a list of people who we knew we wanted on the podcast and we wanted to invite on the podcast. And Katrina went about scheduling them. The other thing that I'll say we did very early on, once we knew I was pregnant, once again, Steph was one of the first people that knew I was pregnant, and Katrina as well, was we immediately blocked out 3 days a week on our calendar starting in January so that we could bust through it, and we had the time and the space already set aside. That was critical because it's not always easy for Steph and I to get our calendars to align. And I think almost as soon as I came back from maternity leave, we also put podcasting back on the calendar.
I think we put it on there like 6 weeks ago or something.
Yeah. Of like, okay, we're going to need to get back to it. And we knew that Elliot was going to be in school, so we wanted to give that a little bit of time. This is why having a calendar is so critical.
Beyond.
Because I was able to look at my September calendar and say, okay, Steph, Elliot's going to be going to school starting this date. And I was hoping he wasn't going to have a separation problem, but I also knew he probably would, because he just takes a minute to warm up in a new space. And so we did a lot of prep for separation, and I still had to sit there for 5 days. So there was that. But he walked in so proudly today, I will say, Steph. He had his little backpack on before we were ready to go. It was so cute.
Well, today is day 3 of walk-in.
No, I think we've had a full week already of him walking in without a problem. But like, he's psyched to go in the morning.
Yeah.
It was the first time he had his backpack on and he was just walking around it.
He knows what's coming. He knows the routine and the schedule now, and he's into it.
Exactly.
I
think I told you this off air, but like, one thing that I was not prepared for in transitioning him was how emotionally exhausting it was going to be for me. And every day that I had to sit there and he was crying and I was sending him back to his teachers. And for those who don't know my history, I used to be a preschool teacher. So I wanted to do everything I could to support the goals of the classroom teachers. And I was listening to their instructions and showing Elliot that I trusted them, not undermining their, quote unquote, authority in the classroom or whatever. They were the grownups in charge, not me. But I underestimated how exhausted I would be. And I had to come home and nap. Like, when Elliot went for a nap, I went for a nap too. This is why it is so important to have your calendar planned out. And as soon as you get a date, you put it in there, because Steph and I were able to look forward and plan. And it's not just my stuff. Steph was traveling. Like, there's always stuff that she's doing as well. So in order for us to do anything together, Steph, we have to plan out that far in advance, right?
For sure. And I was just sitting there thinking, while you were saying all of that, I've had some conversations lately with adults that really do love their paper planners. I just want to throw it out there. I'm not against the paper planner, because a lot of my students have paper planners just because they don't have as much access to Google Calendar during the day, or it's too much for them. They're not ready for it. But if you're an adult, I'm not saying get rid of your paper planner, but what I'm saying is that one of the biggest executive functioning challenges in calendaring is the fact that on paper, you can't automate it. And so what I'm saying is, we put down 6 weeks ago that we were going to start recording today, or actually Monday. And we put it on a reoccurring event.
Yep. So it's blocked out.
It's blocked out. And then you can look for things that are
Conflicts.
Yeah, the conflicts that might happen. So I'm just throwing it out there because I've definitely had some conversations lately with adults that still like to use it. And I'm just saying life could be a lot easier if you consider going digital.
And so that is how we we intensified the amount of recording. We forward planned for basically January through September of 2023. And now we'll be ahead on episodes again, but
It's going to take a minute.
it's going to take a minute. But I'm excited about some of the topics we have coming up. I'm looking forward to chatting with you about some of the stuff, because as you guys know, sometimes Steph and I wait until we're recording to have these conversations. Which reminds me, Steph, I need you to get back to me about a date for the holiday party.
That was like 12 hours ago.
I don't want it in my head, so it's now your burden.
You guys, she brought it up 12 hours ago at night.
Okay, but you and I need to have it on our calendars. So you undertook a project as well.
I undertook a couple projects.
Shout out your personal YouTube page too. Share about that.
Okay, so you guys, I decided to start a YouTube channel because I have so much time.
Right.
I can't have gluten. And so I started a YouTube channel called Gluten Free Adventures on my travels around Los Angeles and at Disneyland, all the things that I do often. So I undertook that to learn about some YouTube stuff. Each one that I do, I learn a little bit more. But that being said, then it was, okay, we need to get the podcast up on YouTube.
Yeah.
So we're working on that as well. I believe there's only one episode that I put up so far, but I'm working on it. So that is going to be another place where, although there's no video, maybe someday in the future we might have video.
I don't know about that.
But for now, it's audio because people do listen to podcasts on YouTube.
Right.
So it's there, and we will be putting future episodes up, and then we'll work on getting old episodes up as well. But yeah, so now we will be on YouTube. So if you have a device that doesn't play a podcast for whatever reason and you want to play it on YouTube, there you have it. Yeah, so that's that announcement. So let's go on to the next one.
Next one is, many of you have emailed us asking about Learn Smarter Pro. Learn Smarter Pro is our group coaching program for other professionals, educational therapists, learning specialists, allied professionals who are in the beginning stages of building their businesses. We couldn't host Learn Smarter Pro while batch recording as often as we were, and then not over the summer this year, because I had a newborn. So Learn Smarter Pro will be coming back. It will be coming back in January of 2024. Steph, I cannot believe that we're already in January of 2024. So applications open today for Learn Smarter Pro. Learn Smarter Pro will begin on January 9th from 4 p.m. Western to 5:30 p.m. Western. So you guys can do the adjustment on your time zone.
That is Pacific Standard Time, PST, during that part of the year.
And it will run consecutively for 6 weeks. We will, of course, host our Facebook group for our posters again. And one of the frequently asked questions that we get about Learn Smarter Pro is like, what happens if you can't come to every meeting? We record everything and we post it in the Facebook group, and you are welcome to watch it later or watch it again, because it is a lot of information that we give, and some people need to see and hear it more than once. The other thing that I'll share about Learn Smarter Pro is we are going to be revamping it a little bit. We have learned a lot in the previous iterations of Learn Smarter Pro. It is absolutely going to be the same content. We're just putting it in a clearer order for everybody so as not to confuse our prosters. So I'm just saying it's going to be better. And we're excited, and we know you guys have been waiting for it. So thank you for your patience as we figured everything out. Steph, how can people sign up for Learn Smarter Pro?
You can go on our website at www.learnsmarterpodcast.com, or you can email us for the application if you can't find it there, Rachel and Steph at learnsmarterpodcast.com.
And with that, we will be sharing more about Learn Smarter Pro as the weeks go on, potentially hosting some Q&As about it. If you guys are interested, let us know for sure. But we're excited to get back to it and to see you guys. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Also, Steph and I both have a few coaching slots available. So if your business is a little more advanced or you want just one-on-one attention for your specific business, definitely reach out to us. We both love the one-on-one coaching. We love the group program too, but the one-on-one coaching is really rewarding for us as well. So we would love to connect with you and talk more about how we can support you and the work that you do. But in the meantime, thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. And good to be back, and
we'll see you next week.
We can't wait for what's to come. We'll see you next week. Have a great week, Smarties.
Have a great week.